Okay, I'm in your hands.
I am bloody knackered.
I am too. But let's lift.
All right, ready?
Hang on. Wait.
Cans on. Got your glasses on.
No.
Old men cans, old men glasses. Hearing aids and glasses.
Hearing aids. Yeah. So you're recording.
Yeah,
so you get all of this.
I've got that.
Yeah, let's fucking do it.
3, 2, 1, and...
You know it's nearly bedtime.
I know, it's past my bloody bedtime. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our coming of age podcast.
Hooray!
We're now 21.
Woo! I feel so old.
And the sharper-eyed amongst you who are watching on YouTube or Spotify will have noticed that there's a slight difference in our location this time. And that's because we're, for the first time, in our new studio.
Hooray! Purpose-built studio.
Purpose cobbled together studio, and we've spent
minutes.
Minutes. Listen, it's now 25 past 9. That means it's 25 minutes past my bedtime, and I'm knackered. So, ladies and gentlemen, for our 21st episode, I'm pleased to say that we're now getting almost as many views on YouTube as we are on Spotify. Our audience continues to grow, and we have a very small social media pond, really, amongst people who are invitees at the moment. But that seems to be doing really well, and it's all going good.
I want to say on the social media thing, which is essentially WhatsApp group, if you actively want to join it, just send us a message and we'll do it. It's just people do chat about it afterwards, don't they? They chat about what we raise. They occasionally say kind things about us.
And we got some comments on YouTube as well.
Have we?
We have, and some subscribers. We've just got subscribers.
So the next phase, I suppose, there's been a lot of work to get this studio together. And we're going to improve it. There's no question. This is like our very first podcast we did. We get it 80% of the way there, and then we get the rest done.
Yeah, it's work in progress.
It's work in progress, but let us know what you think as well. That we're really sort of quite excited about it, really.
Yeah, but it's taken a lot of bloody work, and I'm exhausted. So there we go.
By the way, you do know we're meant to enthuse everybody as we get started, and you look like you want a nap.
I do need a bloody nap. I can tell you that. Anyway, so yes, here we are. We're in our new studio, which John has very kindly and ably procured for us. We've got our 2 screens, as you may see, with our logos on. Not quite how we want things yet, but we're getting there. This is the first time. The table has only arrived today, so it's very much cobbled together. And again, as I say, we're looking to sort of move things to a new level now. We're a year old, and
with social media as well. That's the next
social media and getting...
So on that note, if you are watching it and if you enjoy this, please tell your friends, get them to log on, send us a message. It really makes a difference how we do it.
It does. And again, all the usual stuff. I know it sounds corny, but please, if you're watching us on YouTube, and subscribe. It really helps the algorithm.
And by the way, subscribe your friends and don't even ask them. We don't care. We honestly don't care. Seriously.
We
don't care.
We just want...
we don't care. Subscribe people who've been dead for a while. We honestly don't care.
And on Spotify, if you'd follow us, that would be absolutely fantastic. If you want to contact us, we're on Brumcrack at gmail.com. And John's organising our...
Which is why nothing works. Nothing works.
Kind of a contradiction in terms of John's at the moment sorting out our website.
Yes.
So we've got a couple of domains.
Don't go. Right. You know how everyone promotes their website? Don't go. Don't go to it yet. Go to it in about a month. No, don't go to it now.
John did it.
Just because I'm working on it. So don't go now. Right. Anyway, there you go. That was the promotion.
Good. Okay. So before moving into the serious stuff, I think we're going to play our first track this evening.
Mm-hmm.
And again, in the absence of being able to play...
Actually, we should talk about that.
We will talk about that. I'm just going to make sure that this is queued up from the very beginning. So this is a new track from my jazz funk bands, my jazz funk.
Oh, you've launched them, haven't you, as a proper band?
No, I haven't. I haven't done the jazz funk yet. I've got nearly an album, but I'm almost ready to release my melodic techno group.
But didn't you send me a thing where they were real? There were people, there were pictures.
I've got because as you may have heard before, I'm quite into my EDM, which is unusual for a silly old fart. But
I don't know.
I like that. And I've been working on a melodic techno album with an AI group called Code K. And
that you've made,
that I've made, yeah. It's going to be up on Spotify soon. I've just got to get the normal boring life stuff out of the way before I can sit down and just do the tweaking on the tracks and get everything up on Spotify. But to look out for them, they're called Code K.
Is that a reference to cocaine? Is it a play?
No,
on
it's
cocaine?
not actually. No, I didn't even think of that. Code K. No,
Code K.
Code K.
I just heard
KODE-K.
I just heard cocaine.
The lead singer is an Irish girl.
Is she cute?
She's very cute.
Is she cute?
Yeah, she's cute.
And you literally created her.
I created her
out of your brain.
I created Kat O'Ryan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And her two.
How old is she?
She's 25.
So you created a 25-year-old who's.
I also
yours.
created her two male producers, Eric Nystrom, who's Swedish, and Liam Mercer, who's British, and they're both producers and DJs who collaborate with.
But they never get off with her, do they?
Kat's the singer. No,
they're not in a relationship. with her.
Not in anything.
Not with the 25-year-old woman.
No, they're
you've created.
They're in a totally respectful, creative relationship. So anyway, this is. By
the way, I think this is literally how Terminator starts.
So this is for my jazz funk group, which I haven't thought of a name yet, but Funk Ejaculation was
Fucking hell.
No, that's not going to be it. Okay, and this is a new track which I made last week on holiday while I was sitting by the pool in Kalamata in Greece, and it's called Neon Dreams.
Sunset going, you maybe see city lights. Oh, feel the groove moving, take us to new heights. We escape the rhythm, dancing to the night. You and me, we're dreaming, everything feels right. No rush, no hurry, we take our sweet time. Every beat a story, unwind and rewind. Let's vibe on, keep the spirit alive. Feel the music, let it make us bright. In this moment, we will ride under neon lights. Everything just right. Smooth jazz blowing, whispers in the air. We lose ourselves to the mellow care. Harmonies envelop in a sweet embrace. Feel the soul grow in this jazzy space. Life's a melody, we ride with the sway. Under the stars, we'll dance night and day. Let's vibe on, keep the spirit alive. Feel the music, let it make us bright. In this moment, we will shine bright. Under the light, everything's just right. It's a journey, with every note we find. Love and melodies, join and intertwine. Magic surrounds us in the moonlight blue. You and me together, every moment's true. Let's vibe on, keep the spirit alive. Feel the music, let it make us bright. In this moment, we will shine under neon lights. Everything's just right.
So there's Neon Dreams there from Funk Ejaculation.
First of all, lose the title.
Of course, I'm not going to use that title.
It's already been done. Nobody is going to hear them now without going funk ejaculation.
So that's a one shot, 2 minute, 10-second generation. I mean, obviously, I played with the prompts and got a few, that weren't very good.
I'm not as impressed with that one as most of the ones
It was
you've
pretty
done.
off the cuff, really.
I think it was off the cuff.
It needs work on it.
And I think because the other ones, as you know, I've normally been stunned in silence. And maybe it's also because the standard's gone up. I'm kind of going, what do I expect now?
I get it.
Work in progress is what I'd say.
Yeah.
And I'm not knocking it. What I actually felt like, it didn't feel, I suppose, funk, but it absolutely felt like a throwback to an average, and that's not a complaint because I'm talking about pro level, but an average disco song that we'd have heard back in the day.
It's not really a disco, it's not disco rhythm, really.
To me, it felt more disco-y.
Yeah.
But so what I'm saying is it's not critical. It's not that. It's a measure of how good your other stuff has been, and B, I think, like you say, it's on holiday.
Yeah.
And we're not gonna. And part of this, by the way, is we want a mixture. I'm absolutely fine for the AI, and in fact, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
But we want a mix of real. And I have been, as you know, Mark, as part of this, I have been knocking my goddamn head off the wall. So we get into a slightly creative argument now, or not argument, discussion. We want to do the right thing on this podcast, right? I produce music, and so does my friend Mike Madden.
Yeah.
And I respect artists, and I really do. I want them paid. Now, they maybe get paid a pittance by Spotify and whatever, but that's above my pay grade. I want them paid. We all do. If we're paying, I don't know, we looked at it. So basically, so everyone knows, we went to the PRS for Music, which is
Performing Rights
Society for Music, who are effectively the governing body of assigning rights. And you go to them and you say, I want to use music. And they have all kinds of different licenses. If you want to use it in a feature film, you're going to pay tens of thousands of pounds. If you're going to use it to sell, to give music off your website, that's fine. But you've got to pay a significant amount because the artist needs to get reimbursed. Yeah. We're a podcast who likes to play music, and I think we should pay for that. There is the person who wrote the music and the person who performed the music deserve, probably 5 pence by the time it goes through, but they deserve to get paid. So we went to PRS. God, it's difficult. The individuals I spoke to were very, very helpful.
Well, helpful insofar as they spoke to you, but not helpful in terms of the advice they gave.
Well, the problem is, we're in this dilemma because their advice was unequivocal, and their advice was, so we were on Spotify as a platform. We were able to play live music whenever we want, music anytime we wanted. So we just pick tracks from Spotify. The only rule is, as you'll know from our earlier episodes, that it all had to be complete. It had to start and it had to finish. But within that caveat, we could play anything. And why? Because Spotify covered the cost of it.
Well, it didn't cover the cost. What they basically put it under
their license.
They what you produce, so far as they was concerned, is a playlist with talk in between. Yeah. And then every time you played their song, then the artist then got their whatever you get for playing their song.
As though we'd made a playlist.
As though we'd made a playlist, yeah.
And then for some reason, and it's not at all clear why, they stopped it and they said we won't do that anymore. And it left everyone who's got a love of music. We want to pay, we want to pay, we want to contribute, whether it's Spotify giving us for free, or both of us have sat here and said, for a basic license in a podcast to play music is about £200 a year, $250 a year. And we've both said we'll invest that and we'll pay in. This is a labour of love, but for £250 a year split, we do it. And that way we're contributing as well as playing. And then I go to the PRS and say, look, have we got the right license? Is this the right way to do it? And it takes I have to say, it takes a lot of effort to get through to the right person. One is that the email she sent me went to the wrong place, but so what? And
the email with the wrong advice went to the wrong place.
Well, I mean, you're saying it's wrong advice. And by the way, I can't disagree with you because you've had much more contact with Spotify. She is unequivocal, the lady I spoke to, which is that. And actually, by the way, if anyone's listening to this and knows more about this than us, please contact us because this is very real to us. She is saying absolutely that Spotify and YouTube have broad license agreements. And therefore, anything we do on their platforms, in terms of playing music, is covered. So she's unequivocal about that. What the problem is, or one of the problems is, because we have video components to this, the license only really covers audio, And if there's a video component, in other words, it's being played while there's video, it's called sync rights.
Yeah.
And here's the stupid thing: you can't get
Right.
them. It's not you don't want to, you can't.
But
Because you've
not
got to
only
go
that-
back to the individual.
Yeah, but not only that, but
publisher.
even if we were only playing audio, what she has not allowed for is Spotify's
Spotify won't allow it.
business model.
Yeah.
Because we can't play a copyright song in our podcast because it then doesn't link in to remunerate the artist.
As well, and them.
Yeah, and them. Oh.
But why? Although Spotify don't do it, what when we did it before? So we had our podcast,
Yeah.
and then we just stopped and played their music. Yeah. Did all the videos stop, or was it just carrying on? But there was the playlist. How did it work
Well,
before?
most of the time we weren't doing video. We'd done
but
it
when we
a couple
did,
of
how did
times.
that work?
What I did was just put the Brumcrack logo up or something like that.
Yeah. So there wasn't a video. There was just a
Yeah,
placeholder.
no, we hadn't got it regular.
If we
video
did
sorted
that
out.
now, wouldn't that still be playlist or not? Is that what they've changed?
Yeah. They
Anyway,
can't
so
do
we've
that.
got PRS, the licensing people, saying one thing. We've got Spotify saying the other. Now, we want to play music, and we are very happy on behalf of everybody here, as long as the cost is reasonable, and $250 a year is. We're happy to pay it. But we seem to be a trap where we just
We're at
can't
an impasse.
do it. And what it might be, by the way, it might be we do an equivalent to that, but we do it on our own website and then link out. We'll work something out. We are determined to work something out. So in the meantime,
we have AI Music Gold.
we have AI, and what we were talking about it is we're looking at really trying to focus on local talent
exactly.
live.
What we want to do, and I think it really fits
With
in
this
with
studio as
with
well.
what the original idea was, that we either have live music here or we have pre-recorded music from local artists and composers played with their permission.
Actually, I'm just thinking of Natty O, who runs a radio station. She might be able to kick us people who want to promote their music.
Of course.
Yeah, we're going to really work at this. We don't really want to do AI all the time.
No,
we want some
absolutely
AI,
not.
some AI component because it's interesting and some of it's very, very good. We want some live, like we had John last time, and that was brilliant.
Yeah, that was really good.
I thought
I enjoyed
his
that.
John. So if you haven't heard it, please go back to our last one. John Sandilands came into the studio and frankly blew us away.
Yeah.
His own music is beautiful, and he's a fantastic guitarist.
And I think he also, was really good generally in the podcast. It's good to.
He was certainly more
it's
mature
good
than we were. Stop grumbling.
Anyway.
So that's the thing, is partly a gripe about how difficult it is to just do it and do it right.
Yeah.
These days it should be simple. Someone should say, pay us this money, do what the fuck you like.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
how it should be.
Well, we were going to try not to sort of talk too much about AI music, but I think
wasn't doing that.
No, but generally. But while we're on the subject, I think you found something today about various artists on a petition or something like that.
No, it's more than that. So we have me and Mark have had a debate, and we've had it before, which is so here's where we perhaps differ. Mark obviously produces a lot of AI, and I think generally produces some stunningly good stuff.
Thank you, John.
No, I've absolutely praised it. It's frightening because it's good, not because it's bad.
Yeah.
Right. And your particular stuff is very, very good. I really do like what you've done. Where we have a slight debate is, I still think deep down it's theft, but I think it's theft in a way I want to just describe it. When all the kids got hold of BitTorrent and everything and started downloading MP3s, and for a whole generation, all the teenagers, all the people who should have been out buying singles from HMV and going to the shops, suddenly stopped. They just downloaded for free everything they could lay their hands on. Right? And it took a long time for the industry to really push back and go, look, it is stealing. Because these artists who we invest millions into, they don't return money to us. They haven't got money themselves. We won't invest in them. And then with these streaming services like Spotify and Apple Music and stuff, there was at least a mechanism where artists got paid. Not very much, but they got paid. And it stopped theft because it's so much easier to use those platforms.
The focus of that petition, though, is...
Well, I'm just getting there now, yeah.
It's basically saying you're stealing our music.
Yeah. So what they're basically saying, so this is I presume I'm pronouncing it right. Thom Yorke and Julianne Moore and thousands of creators.
Tom.
Is it Tom? It's T-H-O-M, but all right, Tom. So anyway, ABBA's Bjorn Ulvaeus. But anyone who's watched these podcasts know that when it comes to pronunciation, I'm useless. Anyway, Bjorn, the actress Julianne Moore, and Radiohead singer Thom Yorke are among 10,500 signatories of a statement from Creative Industries warning artificial intelligence companies use their unlicensed use of their work, unjust threat to their livelihoods. Now, to be clear, what they're saying is if you listen to any track, including Mark's have been produced, the algorithms that produce the music that Mark puts the prompts in for have come from a computer searching every piece of music that's out on the internet. It doesn't come from nowhere. It has to.
Nor do your ideas.
Hang on, we'll get there in a minute. It has to come from that. It takes that music, which is people have written it, people have produced it, people have put their lives into it. It takes that music from everybody and then uses it to create new algorithms. So what they're saying here, the statement comes amid legal battles between creative professionals and tech firms over the use of their work to train AI models like ChatGPT, etc. Claims that their intellectual property without permission is a breach of copyright. Now, where I think me and Mark, I don't know if we do differ, so I'm going to just ask you. I think if I have copyrighted material, if I've spent a lifetime producing music and someone comes along and uses that music in any way without permission, my creative output, whether it's to play it and make money by selling or whether it's using it to train AI, which they sell,
the important
surely I have to be recompensed for them using my intellectual property.
What about if you do what you said you've done with various tracks and what John pointed out that you said to him once? Said, "Oh, I like that in a song," and said, "I'm going to copy that song structure." I mean, if you listen, the only way you are any composer, any writer of music would be able to do to produce a piece of music uncontaminated by other people's music, as if they had never heard any music before and you sat them down in front of a piano. Because I'm sorry, everything you've ever heard has informed your musical tastes, culturally, intellectually.
No, specific techniques.
Exactly.
I don't deny it.
What's the difference?
I think the difference is this. That
in fact, if you're more specific on a particular track, if you take a particular chord sequence or sequence of verses like that Sting song "Fields of Gold," and
where I absolutely copied his structure, you're right.
But you are more directly copying something than the algorithm that's going over thousands or millions of songs.
I think on one level that's right. On another level, it may well produce a song using his structure. That's not the issue, and I'm not going to fight you on that one. Here's the difference to me, is that first of all, copyright law actually has evolved. It's not black and white. So, for instance,
it also allows fair use.
Wait, you cannot. No, not in this context. It doesn't. Not to produce another song. It doesn't. It allows you to comment. It allows you to satire. It allows news. It has all these. Anyway, but copyright law actually takes that into account. For instance, you can't copyright a chord sequence. You can't copyright I don't know, a melody. What you can infringe, and therefore they can bring you, is only specific things, like its character and its nature is so similar effectively that it's copied. So in other words, what I'm saying is modern copyright law accepts completely the concept of influence. It accepts completely the concept. Wait just a second. It accepts completely the context of referencing, of learning from, of understanding, and producing your own music within that. And the whole point I'm saying is the fact that you can't, for instance, copyright a chord sequence is because they accept there are things that are basic to the rules of music, and they want to encourage music. What you can't do is copy. You can't have it so similar.
Okay. Yeah, but then if I did this at a very early stage when I was doing the AI music, I ran my AI tracks through Shazam to see if it got any hits. Not a sausage.
No one's suggesting it's not new and original. What I'm saying is, it has.
If it's so similar, then
I get that, but that's between individual humans copying. What this argument isn't about that, Mark. This argument is saying the only reason it's producing this original music, which you are then paying a subscription
you're
for.
doing the same thing as a
no, and you're paying a subscription for, and you can monetize it because it's your copyright now, right? You're doing that because you know deep down they've gone through everybody's music to produce it.
Well, so have you.
But without
You've
permission.
Going through all the music you've ever heard in your life.
All right.
Anyway, let's not go through this again.
So the point is,
listen, it will be fought out in the courts. So the fact is, nobody's ever going to stop this. This is how things will be.
No, but there should be remuneration for it.
Yeah, that ain't going to happen.
Well, not if you Tories steal it, no, which is pretty much standard Tory ethos.
Right, well,
I'm nicking it, and I don't think they should get paid. How unusual is that, Mark?
Right. So, would you like another short track?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Why not? Right. Well, I'm gonna. This is now from the up and coming album from the Summers family.
Oh, we like Summers. Sorry,
the Summers family.
What's her name again?
Holly.
Oh, like Holly.
Holly.
Do you like Holly?
Yeah, I like Holly.
Do you?
Yeah, but I like Waylon and I like Kurt.
But you like Holly,
but not in the same
way.
Okay, so this is a song. This is a song I wrote. A song from a prompt I wrote. But the idea of this was, a couple who were warring and so on, and they split up and so on. Basically, they found their way back together again, and to have it's a good country theme, and it's called "Back Together Again."
Broken dishes, nights full of fights. Love lost in the dark, no more light. You yelled, I screamed, nobody heard. Pain in the silence, every word. Packed up the car, left you behind. Memories haunt, whispering unkind. Road stretched for miles, got nowhere fast. Heart ain't right, stuck in the past. But we found love in the chaos we made. Both broken hearts now, just a phase. Together again, with vows brand new. Never let go, more than true. Mornings with coffee, laughter anew. Sunrise reminded me of you. Love letters unsent, dusty and old. New stories together, yet to unfold. No more running, no more lies. Through the storm blue, open skies. Holding hands, paths we create. Found each other, gotta believe fate. But we found love in the chaos we made. Both broken hearts now, just a phase. Together again, with vows brand new. Never let go, more than true. 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 No more running, no more lies. Through the storm blue, open skies. Holding hands, paths we create. Found each other, gotta believe fate. But we found love in the chaos we made. Both broken hearts now, just a phase. Together again, with vows brand new. Never let go, more than true.
Nearly hit on to the next one. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, while John dashes downstairs to get another bottle of wine, I'm going to say that was Back Together Again from the upcoming album yet to be named by the Summers family. And here he comes. I hear footsteps approaching. Quick, here he comes. Good.
It's like Christmas. Christmas.
Oh, Amazon's been.
It's like
Yeah.
Christmas.
Oh my God. Anyway, good. More girly rosé.
More girly rosé for the girls.
Yeah, for girly men.
Speaking of girls, didn't we want to have a little discussion about the girls?
Yes, we. Well, I.
Or are we going to do a bit of hard news first?
Let's do hard news.
Hard news first.
Hard news.
You lead on this one.
Right. Okay. So this is the story of the recent acquittal of a police sergeant firearms officer on the charge of murder of a young black guy, 23 years old, Chris Cabba.
24. Doesn't matter. 23, 24.
Early 20s. Okay. And the circumstances briefly were that a car that had been identified as being involved in a shooting the night before the incident concerned had been identified, and as firearms were involved, firearms officers were dispatched to monitor this car. Now, it wasn't, as I understand it, actually a roadblock. That this,
I'd imagine it was a hard stop.
Well, no. What it was the car was being followed,
right,
and on an adjacent street they had placed another car with armed officers in. And much to the surprise, as I understand it, he turned into that road and was faced with the car. So he was sort of confronted with this one car full of armed officers, and another car followed him in. So it was basically pinned in the street. So the armed officers got out with all the usual warnings and the shouting and so on and so forth. He refused to open the car.
I agree. I don't think there was a disagreement, was there? That there's no part of the case that says
they
didn't shout it. No, I haven't seen the film.
No,
I'm agreeing with you. I think they shouted stop, police,
absolutely,
and all that.
So he then reversed into and to smash into
at
the
a
car.
maximum of 12 miles an hour.
Yeah,
just giving everything
well, that's all
read.
that he could, and then forward again.
Yeah.
Now,
so he's trying to break free.
Yeah, and there was a very, very useful article in the Telegraph showing not only that, but an animation of the positions of the officers as the cars were moving. There was a lot of officers around. And anyway, so this guy...
By the way, any of whom could have been killed if he'd found a gap.
Exactly. And not only that, if they'd come between him and what he was intending to drive into. Yeah. So this the officer that was charged, a police sergeant, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. No joke. John can fill me in on that one.
Yeah, I'm just looking.
Then fired a single shot through the screen, which struck him in the head and killed him. Okay, and his defence was that there was I reasonably apprehended imminent danger to colleagues, and I consider this with only and remembering that. A car is very much as lethal as a weapon.
Let's do the lawyer bit, because for anyone who maybe hasn't heard our podcast for a while, both me and Mark are trained barristers. Mark's still active as a barrister. I was a criminal barrister for many years. So, I mean, we're quite interested, because we're basically, I think, both of us fans of the law most of the time.
Yep.
But I don't mean the practicality. I just mean what the law is. So, for instance, you just said he reasonably thought there was risk. It's an interesting test. So let's have the first thing here, if I can break that down. Well, it's just that he was taken to court for murder.
Yeah. Well, let's just.
Yeah. Sorry. Carry on.
Let's take this in stages first of all. Mm-hmm. I mean, the first question is, in what circumstances is it right to charge a police officer in those circumstances with murder? I mean,
it's not even small, it's
manslaughter. Well, that's the intentional taking of a life and with basically no real defence. I mean, you can tell me better, because I haven't done crime for years. I've certainly never done a murder trial.
It's not gross negligence. I mean, I would have thought.
Well, what's the legal definition of murder? What's the mens rea of murder?
Murder is you have to intend to kill.
Yeah.
So you have to intend to kill, or intend to do really serious, grievous bodily harm.
Well, he could say
that's the line.
Yeah, but isn't that subject to a?
But that's
defense?
not. Sorry, go on.
Well,
carry on.
Sorry. I mean, you can intend. I mean, it could be said that he intended. He might even acknowledge that he intended to kill,
or do really serious harm.
Was at least reckless as to whether.
No. You are combining two different terms. Right?
Yeah. So no,
it's intention.
Yeah.
So it's not enough to do it by accident. It's not enough to even be negligent and don't care. That's all where all the gross negligence manslaughter comes in. he has to intend, which if you point a gun at
Intent to
someone
kill
and pull
or
the trigger,
cause him serious harm.
so no, it's when he pulls the trigger and shoots someone, he doesn't know he's going to die, but he knows he intends to do him very serious grievous bodily harm or death. So that's the murder threshold, and there's no question in my mind if the distance was what I suspect it was, which is pretty fucking short, and he could see the guy and he pulled the trigger, he clearly intended to kill him or do him really serious harm. Right? Gross negligence, just to give the comparison, which is where you'd almost think it, but I think the legal test they went for was correct, because I think he was either completely justified or innocent or whatever. Do you know what I mean? But I think if he shot at a distance of, let's say, a few meters, 10 meters, 15 meters.
Murder is the unlawful killing of a person with the intent.
Yeah,
to
that's
kill
where
or
I'm
cause.
focusing.
The important word is the unlawful killing.
Well, no, there's that as well. I 100% agree.
But that's the point.
I agree. But there's what it is, in fact, there's a number of different points. But the reason I'm focusing on intent is they were probably right with a murder charge. No, as lawyers, they were probably right as a murder charge. Because you can't say, for instance, let me just tell you what gross negligence is and whatever. If I shoot...
I get that.
No, you do, but I'm not... Oh, sorry, I was doing this more generally. If you just shoot a gun in the street, you can say, well, I just shot the gun in the street. I didn't intend to kill anybody, right? I was showing off. I was doing whatever. If it kills someone because it actually happens to kill them, well, you'd go for gross negligence at minimum, and you'd go, it was so negligent to do that. So gross negligence...
but isn't that manslaughter?
Yes, so it becomes manslaughter.
Yeah, it becomes manslaughter.
So you're asking me murder. So that's what I'm trying to say. This officer didn't negligently discharge his firearm. That's what I'm trying to say. Right. He didn't not care less what happened. No. He intended to hit this guy. He intended that he either died or would at least be done serious harm by being shot.
Well, and he wanted to stop him.
Well, no, precisely. And therefore the unlawful kicks in.
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to say there is I think the charge, I'm not saying it should have been brought, that's a different issue. But legally, the charge was correct. That's what I'm trying to say. He either did or didn't was justified in deliberately intending to kill him or
the trial wasn't about that. It was about whether it was a lawful killing or not.
Yes, I'm agreeing. But that happens in all cases. In all cases, they're fought on different meanings and words. So unlawful, the key one unlawful, you are entitled to use reasonable force, right, in the circumstances as you see them and as are practically available to you. So if you have seconds to work something out, the jury has to say anybody in that situation would not have done what you did in that you haven't got the defense, right? So you're saying it's reasonable and they say it's not. Now, his defense was it was reasonable because this guy's behavior created an immediate risk for my officers around me. If he had got a gap and he was trying to get a gap, he'd have driven through at high speed and we could now be sitting in a situation where I've got a guy dead.
So lawful killing.
So I shot him.
Self-defense.
Or defense of others.
Under the Queen's Peace, killing an enemy during a war.
Not applicable.
Circumstance. The circumstances of the killing may be considered such as whether the defendant honestly believes the circumstances at the time. For example, a homeowner who kills an armed burglar with a kitchen knife may be considered to have acted lawfully.
Because it's reasonable. That's the test. So we'll, I mean, you're still leading off on this, so I want you to carry on. But what I'm saying, they're the legal tests. So where do you want to take it? What's your view on it?
But is it, is it... I mean, even in these particular circumstances, where I don't think anybody could seriously suggest that a jury would not be entirely entitled. And basically, this is one of the tests that the CPS, Crown Prosecution Service, has to apply when deciding whether to prosecute or not, which is why I think this is a political prosecution.
You do honestly think that?
I do.
You think so little of our systems that everything's now a political prosecution? I
absolutely think that because...
Have you ever dealt with the CPS?
I think this is well, I don't think the CPS really ultimately had any real say in this. I think.
So you believe it's Starmer?
I think the diktat came from above. Well, not Starmer. It was Starmer. Wasn't the
But it was the lefties in the Tory government that did it.
Let's just move on to it.
Well, you said political.
I do think because it was a black man killed by a white police officer, that somebody somewhere felt a prosecution had to be brought. But if you were to ask yourself honestly, as a prosecutor, would a jury be fully entitled to say, in the light of undisputed facts, okay, that it was unreasonable for a police officer to apprehend that his colleagues may be in danger from a car ramming back and forward, and therefore the killing was unlawful?
So your answer to the difficult question that every prosecution team, every prosecutor has to look at, which is, do I think it's more likely than not that we'll get a conviction? It has to be more likely than not to at least proceed. He's an unarmed man. He was unarmed. There's no question. He was an unarmed man who is shot in the head. I think he was shot in the head, but shot in the head by a police officer when that guy wasn't armed. And yes, he was trying to get away. But and there's lots of people trying to get away. Speeders try and get away. Lots of people try and get away. But he's shot by this officer when he's just trying to get away. Right? I'm just giving the other side.
Ramming the car back
12
and
miles.
forward.
12 miles an hour. Right?
It doesn't. 12 miles an hour.
Way,
Car hits you at 12 miles an hour.
I'm not justifying it. What I'm saying is, and I find it interesting because I think it's your conspiracy theory go-to, which I think most people find quite weird. Right?
I think most people find quite reasonable.
No, rather than saying, okay, there's an unarmed man who is shot dead on the streets. He is a max. Everyone says he didn't get more than 12 miles an hour. And
would you want to stand between a car and a wall traveling at 12 miles an hour?
Hold on, absolutely not.
No,
Hold on.
exactly.
And I'm going to largely agree with you on this one. But what I'm trying to say is, I look at that and I go, oh, there are arguments both ways. I actually fall on your side of the argument. Don't worry. When I look at it, that's where I fall. I'm with you, right? But
so what was the prosecution brought then?
You don't understand. Because somebody looked at it and went, well, actually, there's two sides to this. What I'm trying to go is, there's two options here. One is a genuine lawyer looked at it and went, I can see there's two sides, right? Therefore, a jury should decide this issue, right? That was a decision made. And I believe we can change the threshold. So I'm mostly on your side of this. Yeah. But what I'm trying to get across, Mark, is, to me, you reach for it was a political prosecution. You just said it. And I go, that's madness. That is honestly Donald Trump weird conspiracy theory.
Come off it.
No, I honestly do. That's my response, because
you don't think a prosecution is ever brought for political reasons?
I'm not saying ever, but there's nothing about this one makes me think that. Not at all. From a Tory government that was in, by the way. So it's not even you saying it about Labour. So what I'm saying, I think it's weird that you so distrust in our institutions, which I want to support, because I think this prosecution was wrong. Right?
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
Hold on.
I'm glad you agree with that. But
I think it was wrong.
Well, why do you think it was wrong?
Right.
Then?
I think it was wrong, but I don't believe it's conspiracy theory.
All right. Well, tell me why you think it was wrong.
I think it was wrong because I have a fundamental belief, which is funny enough, identical to yours. We argue the differences. If we ask people, soldiers, or police, if we ask people to go into incredibly dangerous split-second decisions on our behalf to use violence, lethal violence, it can be police, it can be soldiers, we as a society have to make a compact with them, which is that the threshold to prosecute them like an ordinary citizen has to be much higher. It shouldn't be absolute, absolutely not. Right? But it should be much higher. So I think it is, I'm trying to work out myself what the correct balance is, but I think it's reasonable to say, because we as lawyers, we do this all the time. We use phrases that set thresholds higher or lower. And at the moment, the same threshold is being applied to a police officer doing their duty, a soldier doing his duty or not, or doing murder. But the same threshold is being applied to someone like you or me pulling out a shotgun and shooting someone on the street. And I think that's probably wrong, because we're asking them to volunteer to go there. So how about this? And I'm just throwing it out. I haven't even thought about it. But something like, before you can, rather than the normal test, which is more likely than not, which works for most of society, if you are in a position where you are a trained person who's authorized to use lethal force when necessary, that kind of balance.
Wobbly table.
Well, no, whatever the balance is. I think you could have something like compelling reasons to believe. The jury have to be satisfied. There were compelling reasons to believe that officer was not operating in that framework. What I'm saying...
Are you talking about the CPS tests that they applied to...
No, I'm saying they should apply a different CPS test. That's my answer to it. I think this wasn't brought properly. I think there should be a test that says it's
there
not
is,
the
there's
same
the other
as
way,
citizen.
is whether the prosecution is in the public interest. They can decide that there is sufficient evidence, but then they can say the second part of the test is it in the public interest to bring a prosecution?
It is to me in the public interest. So, for instance, any firearm thing that's done, as you know,
the table.
the force that's used, lethal force, must report itself to the independent, whatever,
everything
must bring in an outside force to review.
Has to be investigated.
But it's still a little bit internal. It's got a separate force, but it's still a little bit internal. So one can see that corruption coming in where you would never, turn on another officer. What I'm saying is when it jumps out of that into the courts, into someone being held, I think it's reasonable to turn around and say the threshold standard should be higher. And there is a form of words. We do it all the time, don't we? Where we push the threshold up. No reasonable officer would have fired. That kind of threshold test.
Well, that's the sort of test that's applied in, for instance, clinical negligence.
Precisely. So because of the seriousness of the effect on society of prosecuting officers and soldiers, I think it's reasonable. I mean, that might be a good test. What I'm saying, we can come up with a test. We do it all the time. Here's a test. Before you prosecute a police officer for shooting someone for lethal force, it must be, the Wednesday unreasonable test, it must be a decision made by that officer that no reasonable officer would have made. And he would not have...
well used to applying that test.
But exactly. He would not have been... The officer would not have been prosecuted under that test.
No, but
so the test should be higher, is my argument.
Given what we have, why do you say this prosecution was wrong?
No, what I'm saying is because the test wasn't high. I don't believe in conspiracy theories. I think it's just you being Trump. I really do. I think you've got a mindset.
I'd take that as a compliment.
Well, we'll deal with that in a minute. So anyway, my argument is it was wrong because I think under the proper test a police officer should be, which is we asked them to go and do this thing. We definitely should hold them account. If your decision is that no reasonable officer would have done, and the classic one is you get him out of the car, you put him on his knees, he's in front of you, and you go, "Fuck him!" Bang. That's murder, and we have to keep accountability because there are people who do that.
I mean, don't get me entirely wrong when I say there are political reasons for doing it. I don't necessarily say that there's some left-wing prosecutor there saying we need to get this copper because it's still got to go past the jury at the end of the day.
No, but there can be a police officer who sets the case up.
But I can see there being a political reason for wanting to bring the prosecution so that the decision is not made by the CPS not to prosecute, and that while they may be perfectly happy, that a jury is going to acquit them. However, that's not the test. That's not the test.
I'm with you on that. And by the way, all these systems, we've both worked in the law.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan of the law as it is, including its wrongness and it. Correct. But perfect. Human beings do this, right? And of course, there are career people. There are people who want to make a name. I don't know, but there can be people who go.
It's not as bad as America, is it?
No, and thank God we don't go there. But absolutely, there can be career building people going, I want to show that I am with the people, right? All that bullshit,
sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Kamala Harris.
I don't know what was behind the decision, but I think the decision was wrong to prosecute him. But I also think there are societies. We've seen the Sarah Everard rape situation and murder, rape and murder.
Oh, listen, there's wrong ones out there.
No, we got to have a system, but we got to have a system where the police are held. We're one of the wonderful things in this country.
Absolutely.
One of the wonderful things in this country, which holds the police back compared to a lot of countries, is they know they'll get fucked if they go beyond what being a police officer is.
Right.
But anyway, in this case, can I just give you a bit of politics because you'll kick it back? Because I found a great Guardian article. No, hang on. When I give you a gift, Mark, try and take it with grace.
I will take the gift in the spirit.
In the spirit. It is, because this article was written. So what's happened in the news today, which we were both reading, is that the judge in the case... So first of all, it was a full case. The system worked. I mean, the police officer must have gone through hell.
Hang on. What happened in the news today? So, John, Tell us what happened in the news today.
Two pieces of news. One is Pearl, one of our greatest viewers, listeners,
Pearl. Shout out
turned
to
around
Pearl.
and said, "We have good radio voices."
We have good radio
Now,
voices.
she might have said it in the context of faces made for radio. There is that. But she said we have good radio voices.
Good radio.
But the second one
I
was...
think my radio voice is better than yours.
The second one is, I think the system is pretty amazing because the judge who did this case, so this judge presided over a case where a police officer, rightly or wrongly on the prosecution, was up for murder for doing it. He refused to let the jury hear.
Which was right.
Yeah, it was right. I know, but let me explain because it's not obvious. He refused to let the jury hear the bad character, in other words, all the bad things about the defendant. And the reason he wouldn't let the jury hear it is it was obvious from all the evidence. The police officer didn't know those things.
No, that's right.
So they knew the car had been involved in a suspected shooting, which doesn't mean the driver that night was. And that's the information the police officer had when he did what he did.
But not only that, it would unduly influence
A jury.
the jury as to whether to acquit him or not.
Possibly in the favour of the police officer.
Well,
because what's come out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I get this,
You're
but,
wrong.
but also,
It's great, I agree,
You'll find
it's
that
right.
judges on difficult points like that, where the other side will raise an issue that is maybe a valid point, not a terribly persuasive one, or there's other reasons.
Prejudicial is the
or
main one.
prejudicial. Is that the judge will often allow it in, knowing that full well they're going to completely kick it out, but that if they exclude the arguments, then there's a ground for appeal.
But that's because the judge is following the law. Because if the judge is afraid of an appeal, it's because the law is the appeal would win.
No, but you're just you're just removing the opportunity for one party to appeal on the basis that
But it's
like I
rooted
say,
in
if
the law.
If somebody
It's
wants,
rooted in the
somebody
law,
wants to
though.
raise an argument, even as a bad one.
No, it
and
can
the
be a very
judge-
good one.
Yeah, well, no, but I'm
Go on,
giving
sorry,
an
go on.
example
Yeah,
of
yeah,
a
yeah. I know
of
what
a
you
bad
mean.
one. The judge, which shouldn't be allowed, or a piece of evidence that should be allowed, late witness statement, whatever, anything that the judge says, oh, no, I'm going to let it in, Mr. Radburn. It's purely on the basis that I'm going to let it in, but I'm going to reject it. But only on the basis that it will remove the opportunity for the other side to criticise.
There's a real world. When I was doing criminal cases, the judge, and I don't know if he's now, I shouldn't really name judges, but I'm going to because it's quite admiration. There was a judge called Judge Moore in Sheffield. And Sheffield, I'm going to say, was the hardest place I ever practiced. It was like old law. The judges were hard as nails. It's quite a tough city. Lots of serious criminals, and these were hard judges doing serious criminals.
Serious criminals.
I'm
with
being
serious
I'm being
barristers
about.
defending them.
Well, there's a lot. No, there was a lot of that. Judge Moore was great. He was the most ruthless sentencer and was known for it. But his trials were so fair, right? And I understood because I was defending. I understood he would give me pretty much everything, right? I wanted to exclude some evidence unless I was talking bollocks. It would get excused. No, sometimes I'd run it.
Does that happen often, John?
Sometimes I'd run it if I thought if my duty was to protect my defendant the best I could.
Yeah.
And as long as I could build a arguable legal argument, I'd run it.
Yeah.
He would, in general, let me have every advantage for the defendant he could.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course, it wasn't because he's nice, because once he got to sentencing, he absolutely crucified them, right? And he almost always got appealed, and he almost always won. He almost always got it right. He gave 6 years, by the way, to a graffiti artist, a kid graffiti artist. No, but the kid wouldn't stop. And he went, we've tried 18 months. We've tried public service. We've tried everything.
Yeah.
Let's see how 6 years does. Let's see when you come out at 25 if you're still doing it, right?
Yeah.
And the court appeal upheld it. Everyone thought he was outrageous. And he just went, if we're going to stop it, there has to come a point where we stop it. Anyway. But he was a great judge. Right. He was a pleasure to be in front of.
I like.
But in trials, he'd give you the absolute fairest trial. I never walked out of a trial with Judge Moore and felt I hadn't got a genuinely fair trial for my client.
Yep.
If I lost, my client was toast.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah.
So anyway, but back to this one. I just wanted to make this point that I've got a Guardian news article, right? So, and this obviously came out. So the judge now today has turned around and given the bad character of the guy who died, Chris Cabba, because the message and the narrative that was building up was a another black guy
Yep.
being pursued by white police officers in effect and being shot dead because they don't give a fuck.
Yep.
Right. That was the base of the Brixton riots, which may have been
Which
more
was
justified.
specifically cited in the arguments.
Yeah, exactly. So what happened was there was an argument brought by the media saying, we know he's a really bad one. He's a shooter. But he's right in the middle of the gangs. We've got him on video shooting someone
2 days beforehand.
No, it's more, but 6 days. It doesn't matter. That's not the point. But yeah, shooting someone in a nightclub, right? All of this stuff is true. He's a major member of a particular gang in Brixton Street. So what the media said is, we've got to be able to tell people this because apart from anything else, we're going to get another set of Brixton riots. So in that context, I want to give an article that's in the Guardian, and it hasn't aged well. It's in the Guardian from yesterday, I think it was. I'm just trying to find the date on it, but yeah, yesterday or whatever. But and it's just really, in a sad way, funny because it's exactly a Guardian article you'd normally take. And I'm going to quote, "Shocking. Chris Cabler verdict stokes old frustrations in Brixton." So it's shocking because he was acquitted, the police officer. I know, so we haven't got a name, right? And look at the heading. And I normally criticise the Telegraph for this all the time, right? So I like to see the words. Latest acquittal of an officer who shot dead an unarmed black man provokes disbelief, frustration and resignation in South London. And I'm going to name the journalist because I think this is a great piece. So it's Chris Oser. And I'm only naming, and this is Tuesday the 22nd. So it's actually out today, but obviously it's been updated.
Only been released, I think, about lunchtime or something like
so this will be the morning. And it's a classic piece of journalism. And this is the danger I think, personally, you fall for sometimes.
Excuse me?
No, but I'm throwing up as us. Disbelief, all right, distrust, disbelief, and frustration is palpable on the streets around Electric Avenue here in Brixton, the buzzing heart of South London. News is sinking in that a police officer has been cleared of murdering an unarmed black man in the borough. Now, just taking that as a first statement, I think the interesting thing for me, by the way, is simply analysis of a journalist story.
Yep.
That is so loaded. It may be true, by the way, it may be true. That journalist may have stood in that street and every word he's saying is true. Because people believe something doesn't make it right,
No, quite.
which we often argue about. Let me just give you one or two more because it's fucking great, this article, right? Let me see if I've got some more. Right. So again, it's the loading of the article. So Chris Cabler, 24, was fatally shot in the head, nice touch, by firearms officer Martin Blake. We couldn't get his name, Martin Blake, right? 40. Oh, they named both, right? Age both. During a vehicle stop in Streatham Hill on 5th of September 22. So it sounds like it's just a vehicle stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was the fourth unarmed man to be shot dead by non-terrorist operation since 2005. All were black. A single sentence, all were black. Now, given that I do criticise, the Telegraph, I do criticise a lot of your news sources. I was going to say hilarious, except it's so serious, it's real. But, it's hang on. Carton, speaking outside the station, Carton Morris said the verdict was shocking. And basically what he does is interviews 4 people out of the tube station. So I see this as not good journalism, but I see it as not good journalism in the same way I attack you for. Now, of course, that is why the media organisations said we need to report who this guy was. Because do you think these people who were going, there's a lot of pain and anger and
that's
hurtful,
just stoking
do you
up.
think they'd say that if the journalist had said, there's this guy who's one of the major gang members who is on video shooting someone 6 days before, right? Does that make you think in a prejudicial way of his behaviour that moment when the police officer made the decision he made in a few seconds? And I think it's obvious, but I want to make it more general, Mark, because it's one of my attacks on when we argue about things. This is the kind of slant, and this is on the left, but the kind of slant I utterly disagree with. Where's the analysis? Where's the journalist giving you
Listen, I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. And, I'm as critical, and when I'm reading the Telegraph, when that happens, I'm critical of the Telegraph. Telegraph's not perfect by any means.
And it's no worse than this. I mean, that was very clear.
I don't think the Telegraph is the antithesis of the Guardian. I think the Guardian is more the other.
I think Telegraph is. It's famous for it. The Tory. It's not called the Tory Graph for no reason.
Well, neither is the Guardian's.
Anyway, by the way, the other article, which is it's Guardian, but the other article says police push to make it harder. Of course, that means they're not necessarily agreeing with it. Yeah. But they are saying police chiefs have formally asked the government to make it harder to investigate and prosecute officers after the fatal shooting. I think harder is right. I'm with you. I don't think it should be carte blanche because we don't live in that society and I don't want to.
Yeah.
But I think it's reasonable. Oh, by the way, just a little detail. It took the jury 3 hours to throw it out. So, they knew it was not guilty into the trial. But I agree with you as well. It's cowardly if the CPS go, I want to burnish my credentials as not someone who stops it and has to face the wrath and relies on a jury who they know will acquit. Because you know what? Everything I've ever done in court means you don't know. And that officer who supported him.
Oh, hang on. Sorry, I'm just.
Oh, is it your porn? Is this your porn channel?
No,
I won't be gaslighted on this, Mark.
This is Kamala Harris.
Okay.
So I was trying to see if I could do
Let's
something
move on, but
Okay.
I think it's good and it's important.
Yeah,
and
no,
I think
it
we
is.
maybe have done it.
It is, and the jury, took over.
And we both agree it was wrong. He shouldn't have been prosecuted in this case.
Not have been prosecuted. He shouldn't have been prosecuted. Okay, right. So where do we go from here? Do you want another piece of music?
No, let's get Kamala Harris bouncing
Okay, let's
around.
get Kamala Harris. This is one thing that this came up. I saw this on YouTube today. Now, this was Kamala Harris at a Democrat rally. And
Recently.
I think 2 days ago.
Some more wine, sir?
Yes, please. I'm just trying to find the best clip of it. So basically, during it's a debate. She's dealing with the issue of abortion, and some members of the audience shout out, "I think Jesus is Lord" or something like that. And she stops and she says to them, "You're at the wrong rally." Okay, let me play this. See if this is what it is. Okay, so hang on.
And again, we're not going to be gaslighted on this. We remember Donald Trump hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade, and they did as he intended. Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally.
Yes, now.
Is that the quote?
No, hang on. This is when the guys shout out, Jesus is Lord. Okay, so hang on.
No, I think you meant to go to the smaller one down the street.
Okay, so now looking at the comments that came from that.
Where's the comment? What am I looking at? Telegraph or what?
No, there's comments on YouTube onto the video.
Right, the YouTube, yeah.
Saying that I'm a Christian who has always voted Democrat, but after the way she has talked about Christians,
one comment, go on.
So, I mean, I just think it was an extraordinarily stupid thing to say for anybody who is, that one remark could potentially alienate, all Christian or a substantial proportion of Democrat voting Christians to say that because Jesus is Lord, that you're at the wrong rally, i.e. you, a religious person, have no place in the Democrat
So
party.
what's your first of all, that's not Democrat policy, but let's ignore that. What's your view of how it should be? What's your balance?
My point is, you should have.
You just think she was
She
stupid.
should have completely ignored it, and it shows an extraordinary lack of judgment to respond in that way.
Okay.
I bet her publicity people were holding their hands.
No,
in their head
I don't
when
necessarily
that happened.
disagree in terms of tactics, but let's get this right. Do we agree that when they shouted out Jesus is the Lord, it was in particular context. A particular context of her saying he deliberately took away abortion rights from women.
No.
Wait. That's what she. Wait, no. Let me finish.
No, hang on, no. The context is wider. Let me just say.
That's what she was saying at the time they shouted
yeah, she
out
was, but
Jesus is Lord.
But
so it wasn't just a Jesus is Lord. Fuck off.
But it wasn't.
It wasn't.
Jesus supports Trump.
It was. Well, I think it was because hold on. She was saying that Trump deliberately put people on the Supreme Court to take away the abortion rights of women.
That's not my point.
Wait, no, but that's what she was saying, and then they shout, "Jesus is Lord." Surely it's obvious they're saying it in the context of we should take away those rights. No. If they may well be, I'm saying they did.
No. But you're completely missing the point. My point is about her singular lack of judgment in dealing with that the way she did. I think it shows an extraordinary...
I'm not sure you're right, because you turned around and said that means it's stupid. It's a great lack of judgment, because what she's really doing is saying Christians aren't welcome in the Democrat Party.
That's how it would be interpreted.
No. That's how you'd interpret it and how they might interpret it.
All right.
No, my point is this. Hold on. My point is this. If you believe in some values, some really serious values, right? Honest politicians. We're complaining that we haven't got honest politicians. The Democrats are very clear that women should choose what they do with their own lives and their own bodies, right? That's a Democrat position. The Republicans take the position that God says we shouldn't allow them to do that, and therefore, hear me out.
We've discussed.
That
has nothing to do with the point that I was making.
It was because you took that and said she was extraordinarily stupid.
She was stupid
because she
responding
alienated
to that heckle.
But why not respond with honesty and say you're saying Jesus is Lord, which means you are pro restrictions on abortion, and we disagree with you. You're in the wrong rally. This is not what we believe.
You're missing the point.
I didn't think I was. Sorry, honestly,
you are completely missing the point.
Honestly,
this is just how what she should have done is tactically said nothing. Ignore it like it wasn't said.
But why not actually reaffirm that we, those of us who believe in women's rights,
because it
have
shows,
a view?
Yeah, but you can have exactly that, but without responding to that heckle.
But most Americans,
because she couldn't actually think
view.
Of anything sensible to say.
Well, by the way, are you honestly criticising as well something that's done in an instant
yes,
reaction?
I am completely criticising.
Right,
I think it shows a complete lack of judgment.
I think it shows integrity. So we just come away from it differently.
Okay.
Oh,
well, it shows a complete lack of an house.
Do you also believe, by the way, just out of interest, you've played the clip, it's a thing. Do you believe that should be a governing policy, that God is Lord, and therefore we should follow the tenets of God? I'm just asking. They do. They believe that. And she was an idiot
John, stop. Okay? Stop.
It's a question. Do you believe in it?
It's a stupid question for a start.
Okay.
Because there's so many things that have to be defined before you get to that position. Okay, what are the teachings of God? What teachings of God are you talking? Are you saying that I believe that things should be run in literally following the Bible? No, of course not.
No, but I'm asking, when they say Jesus is Lord, and that obviously influences their views.
No, stop it. You're missing the point.
All right, sorry.
I think you're either actually or being deliberately obtuse. What I'm saying.
Should we move on then?
Yes, let's move on. Let's move on. Good. Okay. I think maybe now another piece of music. Right. So this is one. There's a couple here that I've sort of had around for a while, which were like a bit off the wall, and I'm not quite sure where they fitted in terms of genre and so on and so forth. But that I really liked. And if I've got this right one queued up,
I'm giving about 50%.
I'd like to know what you think of this, and it's called Golden Dawn.
I liked it.
Yeah,
No, I liked it. I think the fact it's off the wall actually makes it work.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it doesn't really fit in anywhere.
I'd call it a pop song. I'd call it a pop song.
Yeah,
and there's nothing wrong with a pop song.
And I thought, I mean, that was a real earworm in my head.
It's a pop song. It's a good pop song.
If you can say a good melody is something that you can hum to yourself when the song's finished, then that really stuck in my head.
I don't think there's a genre problem. It's a pop song.
Yeah.
And I think the fact I don't think we do deride pop songs. I
No,
think
not
pop
at
songs
all.
have established themselves as genuinely wonderful songs when they're done well.
Rather like populist politics.
almost exactly not like that. But no, it's a pop song.
Yeah.
It's so when you're saying genre, it's not funk. It's not. No, it's a pop song.
No,
and what's wrong with that? It's a good pop song.
Radio. I think that's I really like that.
Now the only thing I thought technically, and only because we've done this before, is and I think with the new tools you've got, I thought that was too reverby. It was a bit lost. Sometimes I'd want to remix it because I just want her to come out a little bit drier. Now I know it sounds very technical, but what it does do is it makes you get a little bit distant from it because she's too echoey.
You know what? I
Some of it's true, but I would knock it back a bit.
That has a slight sort of feeling of the end of something and a celebration, and that sort of slight that slight reverb I think was kind of perfect for that. It says that this, here we are, we've had a great time. It's like the end of a fantastic holiday in Ibiza or something.
It's a little bit dreamy.
Yeah, that's what that song says to me.
When I say it, this is just my take on it. It's not that wasn't a criticism of it.
The end of a long romantic summer.
I honestly get it, and therefore it has that thing.
Yeah, that's what that does. I know everybody's perception of these things is different, but for me, that's the spot.
That comes down to our argument about, and we have this argument with significant partners, which is
you're the only significant partner.
I know, you are too.
You're my only refuge.
You are too. You are too. I think it's just interesting because there is that bit and we're very aware of it. Is including this podcast, by the way. Some people really like it. Some people like bits of it. Some people like it but would do it differently. Yeah. And you have a choice. We do honestly listen. We genuinely listen to what people say. Completely. We listen to what people write in our group, and we love it. We love the comments. And we listen to it in that context of going, but what do we think we want to do? Because we do it for pleasure, fundamentally. Yeah. And what we're trying to do, just so you understand, if there's bits you like, bits you don't like, we're trying to find an audience. We are trying to communicate. We want an audience. We want people to listen. But we kind of do it by going what we think is right, including changing. Yeah. But we are basically going, this is what we do. We're two 60-year-old men arguing the fuck like crazy about
62 and 64.
I was being kind. No, 62, 61. Till next January.
Okay.
I mean, you're 64. That's fucking
64,
obvious, right? Now we're on YouTube. But anyway, my point
I'm
is...
wrestling.
Go on then. Here and now. Here and now. No, don't do that. Come on.
The table won't take it.
All right. When I get the table
When the table's done, for sure.
And everyone in the comments is going to go...
For sure. What a
right,
bunch
okay.
of,
No, we'll do it. Once the table's strong.
Wankers, they should know better.
Just so you know we're not lying, look at the wine glasses.
Quite.
So anyway... and I think that's lovely. I think that is what creativity is about. You've got to stand there and go, this is what we do. It doesn't mean we won't change it, but we're not going to chase the audience. We have to do what we do and hope the audience likes what we do.
We have to be true to ourselves.
Oh my God, I'm so true to you.
And then the audience.
The Lord.
Right. The people who don't, you can't fake it. That's basically it. As soon as you try and tailor.
The classic one is if you want to do it differently, go and do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, so what's next? We've got to have something.
Good. Okay, good. We wanted.
I think we should go into the dangerous territory. And I don't mean Gaza. I mean the other dangerous. You know the dangerous territory.
It was.
You launched it.
Yes, it was again another. The Telegraph, because of its predominant demographic.
Do you actually pay the subscription? I just want to check.
It costs £28 a year.
So you do.
I do, yeah.
You pay for that right-wing nonsense. Just want to check.
It's a good read.
Anyway,
Okay, I don't always agree with it. Listen,
But
there's plenty I don't agree with, and
Okay.
I've been found to make some robust comments to some articles as well.
May I say, everybody knows that Telegraph journalists are very, very high quality journalists. I mean,
Yes.
everybody knows.
Yes.
Wasn't it PJ O'Rourke or something? I don't know if it was
listen,
Telegraph.
yeah.
But everybody knows that there are very, very good journalists, full stop, who may write for the Telegraph. There are also good right-wing journalists who argue their position incredibly. And it's back.
Yeah, it's back.
Right. I thought we said that to
We
never. Never is obviously
Never.
a relative time in the Apple world.
Yeah, go on.
Anyway, this is as you'd expect.
Your
the
computer
teething-
will never be out of date.
Yeah, never be out of date. It's like honestly, we set this to never. Mark saw it. We both set it to never. That's an interesting definition of never.
Yeah.
It's like Elon Musk never. Influencing an American
He's
election.
a clever man.
So anyway, back to
Telegraph art journalists.
Thanks, man. So anyway, no, right-wing journalists can be very clever and very good and very insightful. No, they can.
You're
Just
sort of
like
suggesting they're being duplicitous.
no.
because of their
Sometimes
clever-
sometimes I thought this Guardian journalist, frankly, was duplicitous on that,
quite.
or at least lazy.
Yeah,
At least
lazy.
lazy. So so get me back on
So
track.
no, my point was
Get me
that
back on track,
because of the
please.
demographic,
Demographic.
which I would happen to be, those of a mature age, those who are old enough, sensible enough, and have to pay enough taxes for the left wing scales to have fallen from their eyes well and truly.
White. Sorry. Go on.
But they do have a really good articles about health and lifestyle for middle-aged people.
Sorry. Hang on. The reason I'm laughing is I know where this is going. Carry on.
No. Well, absolutely. And there was a very good article
Right, yeah, go on.
entitled "How to Support Your Wife Through the Menopause." Now, anybody that belittles
Right.
the issue
Yeah.
and the effects that menopause can have on women and men and relationships,
Isn't 60.
does
Isn't 60.
so at their peril. And interesting statistic from this argument that menopause is given as a reason for divorce in something like 73% of divorce cases.
I'm surprised they
Not
say it's a reason.
Not the only cause, but a contributing factor.
But just can I just check that, because I'm surprised. That's all.
I was.
That it's stated, because I can't think of anywhere in the divorce process where, for instance, a woman says, or I guess a guy says, it's because of the menopause.
What? Or she's
So how did that
changed
come
since
out?
she...
Right. So it's euphemistically said.
Yeah.
Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, and
And by the way, there's no attack here. This is like
Yeah.
both of us going, okay.
Okay, and it is we're of a certain age. We're married to ladies of a certain age, and my lovely wife would be the first to acknowledge that she has changed. During the change, as it used to be called, she's very conscious of it.
Can I ask you then? Let me explore it in
But
the right way.
she manages it very well.
But let me explore it. I'm open. This is both of us. In what ways would you say she would agree that she's changed? And then I'll ask you some supplementaries afterwards. But what would Claire say if she was here?
I'm not really sure.
Or do you not want to do that?
It's some things are specific, some things are more general. I'm not, without consulting.
We need to know. We should get them
and
in.
I think-
By the way, we should get
I think that's
our
true.
partners
I
in
think that's
for
a very
this.
good idea.
That is genuinely a
I
good
think
idea,
that's a
because
very good idea. But
because
my point was a bit more general, and I think this is a subject that warrants a deeper discussion on another occasion. But one of the points that occurred to me, and it was all about what a lot of us were saying, things like get a hobby and stay out of the way when things get difficult.
which is what a guy does.
Well, it was aimed at men, how to support your wife through the menopause.
Get a fucking hobby. Yeah.
But
Oh my God, we're doing
but
podcasting.
Yes, basically, sort of, making allowances for it, taking into account, and basically not doing things to poke the bear.
Except the bear gets poked,
Unfortunately,
no matter what you do.
But I looked then at the comments afterwards.
Sorry, comments. Sorry, I've lost sight of comments. This is Telegraph.
This is a Telegraph article,
right.
and
but an intelligent one.
An intelligent one, which
And the
is very
comments
much
are
about being
intelligent as
supportive
well.
and tolerant, and and doing everything you can. And one of the comments was obviously from someone who'd found himself on the more difficult end of these things. It says, and once you give a woman permission to behave in that way, she will continue to behave.
It's tricky.
Yeah, exactly. And the general point was being, well, look, we're asked to treat women as equals, as rational beings, people who are not sort of slaves to their hormones. I know it's a terrible phrase and so on.
Go on.
But at the same time, we are then have to give them the benefit of the doubt, but tacitly acknowledge that they're not actually able to control themselves because of their hormones. Because we have to make allowances and accommodate these things. This was the tenor of the comments that was coming through. And also one of them was to the effect that, well, look, if a bloke was trying to justify his unreasonable behavior and his temper and aggressiveness
by testosterone,
because he was a man and he had high levels of testosterone,
how far
would that get him? And I think there's a lot in that. I mean, I just think it's difficult to say.
No, this is a different subject.
It's difficult for anybody who wants to be considered to be a sensible, rational, adult person in control of themselves to say that you need to give me, that I'm not able to control myself in any particular set of circumstances. Now, I know that the theory is great, but the reality is otherwise.
This is one of those ones where the knockabout stuff we do, politics and stuff, and then we do. It's it's actually a debate in the real sense. It's like don't know the answer.
No,
it's a debate. I think there is fundamentally a lie going on in society. Which is my dangerous bit on this. And it's fundamentally a lie that we are all saying that we are equal and you mustn't say anything else. And yet, all the old rules are really there like a fucking millimeter under the skin. So, for instance, we're all equal. Right. So, for instance, you can't be patronising to women by, for instance, saying you've lost control of your of some of your faculties and direction. No, this is.
I'm not laughing. I'm just thinking.
You're laughing because I'm going worse.
Calm
than
down,
you.
love.
Well,
you're on the rag.
Well, that's what it used. No, exactly. It's the.
You're having a hot flash or something.
It's the abandonment of. I mean, these things have always gone on. It's the abandonment of the difference, because sometimes the difference can make the female gender weaker than us, right? And when I say weaker than us, so for instance, I think we are more emotionally stable, and that includes, bitter men are bitter men, and they kind of fucking stay bitter men, right? Playful, childish men, which is pretty much where I put us because you're doing a podcast, right?
Yeah, well, we've gone through the state, the phase of being, intelligent, capable, productive men, and now we're reverting to
but
we've earned the right to be.
But we seem more stable.
Yeah,
right.
And that's true,
right? But
emotional stability.
But the moment you say women are less stable
or unstable,
or unstable. But it's seen as an attack.
Of course.
And the menopause is definitely part of that, and postmenopause and whatever. We see it. We're 60-year-old men, right? We see it. And the interesting dynamic here, and it's absolutely true, is we love our wives, right? We really do.
Completely.
We love our wives. And we will give them, basically anything. And the only one I won't do, accept our existence, accept our pride. So the fight becomes, we still think we're rational, and they can have a completely different view. But we think we're rational. So we meet things that we can't understand as rational, right? But we love them, so we do it. But then you get this thing where we're not allowed to say, but we're doing it. because we think you are irrational, and on some level they would say they're irrational, but not in this boundary. And I think it's really, really tough because we love them. We absolutely love them. And we sort of almost don't care. But it's the fact that the moment we at least internally identify that as, well, that's not rational by our definition, it can be patronizing, it can be putting them down. And yet, on the other hand, they're the very first people to say, well, this is overwhelming, this is against me. And the other point, and it's really important to say this, because we're giving our perspective, and I think we're in agreement on this, but we know they're just as bright as they ever were. No one's even talking about that. We know they are who they are, but there is this emotional dysregulation, there is this emotional thing. And if you love a woman, and it is the difference in a woman and a man, because I haven't seen this in men,
any of your gay partners?
Well, short term, they never last more than a day.
You get to know them.
Right.
That's the end of the relationship.
That's the end of the relationship.
I know you put yourself in
Stop
that.
Stop it now. I know
in
you're
that
trying to get out.
position,
I
first
know
of all.
you're trying to get out of it. You're trying to save yourself with the gay jokes.
You naturally adopted your...
I think it's about love. And I think, but I don't agree it's not talked about. And we did actually talk about this before we did the show. Just in the sense of, are we going to do it? And this isn't where we kick each other at all. No. We love our partners. It's absolutely fundamental. And like a lot of men our age, we sit there going, kind of, what the fuck? Because we are not them, right? And all we can do is love them. Because we can't understand it. I don't understand it. I really don't. I don't think you do. We don't understand it. And they don't expect us to, but they do expect us to love them.
No.
But what's weird is we're not allowed to say it's different.
No, and this is what I think would make, and this is, this is the thing I think would make it so much easier in a relationship, is if a woman is able to acknowledge, this is tough. I'm not being totally rational. There are going to be times when things are going to be difficult. I'm really struggling with this. Help me through it. That's all it takes.
Do you not think in the current ethic or the current cultural milieu, there's not a sense where they turn around and go, you're my rock. There's not a sense of going, you are not like me. That's a great thing. I'm all over the place. I can hold on to you. And there is a bit of me wishes that what you got was, I am weak. They are weak. They are weak in this particular way at this particular time. And they go, but I'm with a partner who isn't like that. And that is a rock I can hold on to.
But this comes down to the basic fundamental things, which is where I think feminism gets it wrong to the detriment of women. Is that we are equal but different, and we're not
always equal all the time in every respect.
No, quite well. That's right. But we are a binary equation, a male, female, and all sort of current arguments and so on. For 99.99% of the human population, it's a binary situation.
This isn't sexuality either. It's not about that.
No, this is
although there is a clear gender split on this.
But for the vast majority of human relationships, which are man and woman, okay, you have complementary strengths.
Let's just keep it in straight world at the moment, because it's simpler.
That's why that's right. And for the vast majority of history, this is how it's been, and this is human evolution doing what it is supposed to. There are obviously going to be cultural sexual outliers and all that
when
sort
you
of stuff.
say it's evolutionary, because I'm very into that, why do you think it happens then? What's the evolutionary logic to this happening?
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, the human.
Why would women get more tense, more?
Sorry.
No, that's what I'm trying to go. Why do you think that happens? Menopause. Why logically does that happen?
Well, first of all, there comes a point both the man and the woman
Can't have children.
Well, can't be productive.
I'm talking about biologically. I'm not.
Can't be productive and supportive to make sure a child goes, becomes old enough to be independent. Because
so why does that fit with the menopause? Is it just evolution gives up and then you should die?
It's saying, look, historically speaking, what was the average lifespan in
35?
It was about 35. Yeah,
Yeah, 25, 35.
People never got to menopause.
Because your body shuts down, including the aging you and I have got when we grabbed all our kit up here.
For most people, you didn't get to that age. You had one shot at it when
25,
you were
18 to 25.
Younger than that. 14.
By the way, I was being legal.
As soon as a girl.
But back to this. So
but hang on, you asked me a question.
Yeah, sorry,
I'm trying to answer it. So we didn't get there. So if two people are not going to be able to support a child long enough for it to grow to independence, which was probably only about 12 years old for the majority of time, then there's no point, is there?
So evolution just gives up on us
So
all,
evolution
and we're
says,
coping with it as intelligent beings.
Absolutely. So in terms of us, we lose our testosterone levels drops, our ability to do all sorts of things, and with women, it's, the reproductive hormones drop.
And which they don't drop in their lives normally.
And that's the collateral damage that comes with it.
The love bit to me is we are in fact in our 60s. Yeah. Some of our women are there. It's just interesting, and I think nobody outside of it. It's not like menopause. I thought menopause when I heard about it, and when my first wife and Jane. When that happens, when they move into it, you think, as a man, it's a phase. It's 3 years, it's a phase. No, you think that. You do. It's like, transition, puberty, and it's very logical because that's how we do it. We kind of go, boom, boom, boom. And what it more seems to be to me is like, it's an era in your life. It's just it's there. It doesn't change. It doesn't get better. It doesn't get worse. Particularly, it just sits. And I hate watching Jane. I'm sorry, it's a little bit personal, but I hate watching her struggle with it. I say, I don't want that. I want to cure it. Again, our problem-solving nature. I want to cure it. And it's not about curable. It's just almost about a different male-female relationship, isn't it? It's working out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I say this is, my point was that the article was interesting, but that it was the comments that sort of said, "Hang on a minute,"
Well, give me more comments.
Well, no, I was saying, but that was the general tenor of things. That if you his experience, this one commenter, if you give a woman the excuse to behave in an unreasonable way,
that's a different line.
And there's a problem in the relationship which will take every opportunity, and you are completely undermined in criticizing her because she will claim that it's the menopause.
What's your view on that?
Well, my view is that
his view that you that they effectively get away with it, and if you were saying it, well, I do this because I've got testosterone. Culturally, no one would accept that.
No, they wouldn't.
And what do you see about, quote, the unfairness of that? But do you see it as unfair, or do you just kind of go,
I just think as men we have to kind of suck it up because that's the
reality. Is that because we're stronger? I want to be clear.
Well,
is that because we are stronger?
A lot aren't.
I think the interesting thing is, in societal terms, we're not allowed to be better than women.
No.
That whole phrase.
But we have to be in order to live with them.
I think it's an interesting left-right split. I think it's an interesting left-right split because that's what I mean. There's a lot of sort of untruth about this. If we are better at something, which might be emotional stability, there's nothing about men I can think of where you're allowed to say we are better than women. Because the
women
moment
are too fragile to acknowledge.
Well, the moment you say that, you're being oppressive, you're being patronising, whatever. And yet, we all as a society completely accept the concept that women are better than men at lots of things. We just instantly go, yes. And isn't that because actually the old rules are really there, which is we're stronger, so we should take it.
We just have to shut up and get on with it.
I just think it's interesting, don't you? I think you and I both find this interesting. It's like,
it's not easy.
Is there bullshit in the fundamental way we're all being told to do this? Isn't the right way to say men are better than this generally? Women are better than this generally. We all just come and kind of go, you're better at this, but you're worse at that. You're better at this, you're worse at that. I don't feel society quite does that.
No, it doesn't.
Do you agree?
No, it doesn't. And I think, feminism has distorted to the detriment of women.
And men, I would say.
Well, I think predominantly to women, because we kind of just sometimes sit back and batten down the hatches. But I think, feminism has destined a lot of women to be very disappointed in their lives because of the expectations that it's given them.
Well, they certainly think men are better than they are.
Well, anyway.
I think it's genuinely an interesting subject, but we'll do it another day.
I think we need to do it in depth, and and deal with sort of specific issues.
I think
maybe
I
get
think
some ladies on the program.
No, I think we should.
Lovely ladies.
But no, I think we should have
fragrant, floral, pretty ladies.
There are partners and our wives, and you are fucking dead. And I'm going to sell you out in an instant.
A dead man.
Actually, do you know what? I think it would be lovely because I think there is a validity in men saying where we are and what we think.
Yeah,
right?
no, quite.
And I think we've got there. I think there's also validity in, sitting next to our partners, if they'll come, I don't know if they will, and doing the same, because this is the game that's gone on forever, isn't it?
Oh, for fuck's sake, forever.
Forever.
Yeah, forever. I mean, you look at it, it's just, you look at the natural, when we were all on holiday in Africa, we went on safari and so on, and the harsh truth of the life of 99% of male animals out there is, you're either leopard food or you're destined to spend your life as a single lone male. Or wildebeest amongst a herd of impala.
Or you get a shag for 3 days and then someone comes on and kills you and all your children.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes. Anyway, so
right, moving on.
Yeah.
Music. Definitely time for music.
Music. Okay, this is another new track. I think this was only a couple of days ago I did this one. It's a sort of rhythm and blues, R&B sort of. Well, you tell me what genre you think this is, but I kind of like it. So it starts with a bit of what sounds like a bit of a hiss, but actually on good equipment, it's the waves lashing against the shore.
Shadows are beaming, I long for your embrace. The whispers of a memory, I see your gentle face. The night is filled with echoes, the words left unsaid. I yearn for your touch, but we're worlds apart instead. Come back to me, love. Come back to me, love. To me, love, come back to me, love. For your absence leaves a void. For your absence leaves a void. Only you can remove. For your trophies the shadows hold your silence in the corners of the night. The memories dance like embers fading from my side. reminding me of the laughter of a life we used to share. Come back to me, love. Come back to me, love. Back down Lily. Come back to me, love. Come back to me, love. Don't wanna dance around fool.
Yep. There we
really,
go.
Yeah.
Echoes of Longing.
It's
that's
very
called.
nice. It's really
I
nice.
thought it was just a, you could see Diana Ross singing that, couldn't you? Oh,
Yeah.
hang on. Why are we
In
playing
fact,
it again?
by the way, I think it was Diana Ross. Though apparently Spotify doesn't agree.
Yes. Yeah, I like it.
Anyway, yeah.
I
do
one.
too.
Oh,
I do too.
Brumcrack's gone again.
Nope.
Okay.
It's almost like we're not professional.
Almost.
How can it say? How can it say?
How could it say
Screen
never?
7, never,
Never.
and then do it? You saw me do
I
it.
saw you. I saw you.
For once, you see me. That's most
fucking
important.
see
Right.
you.
Where are we, Mark?
Okay. Hey, whoa. No. Stop.
Well, I reckon
Don't give me that much wine.
Stop that.
Stop doing that. Just stop
Yes.
doing it.
Right. Hang
This
on.
is a professional outfit.
It's.
Where's Hamish McTavish?
Hang on.
Here we go.
I reckon it's time for the mystery moonshine now there, boy.
Is this new?
No, you've had it before, Goldfish. Right, so tonight's mystery alcohol. Okay. What?
I want to push buttons.
Oh, hang on.
Can I?
No. What do you want to do? Another one?
I want to Hamish or
Okay.
give me a bit of Hamish.
Right, let's have a look.
Hamish McTavern.
We can have
Well, I reckon it's time for a drop of the crater now, don't you?
Crater. It's
Drop
a
of the
great
crater.
phrase.
Drop
It's a
of the
great
crater now.
Phrase.
Okay. Time for the mystery whiskey.
The time for the mystery whiskey.
I think it is time for the alcohol of unknown provenance.
Very good.
Alcohol of.
And you're absolutely sure I've heard all of these
You've
before?
heard all of them.
Okay. So Mark is nestling a glass between his thighs and pouring his juice into them.
What the fuck?
Well, you are. I've got to drink that shit. Oh, that looks dark. That's enough. I'll have more later.
Just wait.
And in our
Touch
new
it.
studio. In our new studio.
Work in progress.
I don't know. Pretty. As I'm drinking, it's
there.
getting better.
We are
Right.
getting that.
So, would you like to tell me anything about this before we
I
start?
want you to tell me what you think of it.
Well,
So
first of all,
colour?
colour's dark.
Colour's
It's
dark.
much darker.
It's no, it's not.
It is,
No,
that
we've
is.
we've had sort of some of the nice whiskies that have not been aged but have tasted really nice. Not that they have no age on them.
I'm trying
Have
to
been
read
this
what he's saying.
darker.
Mark is such a tight ass. I'm looking at
smell?
Aldi cheapest shit.
Fuck off.
It's not whiskey.
You don't think so?
No, it's cognac or bourbon. Cognac, I think. It's got all those rich smells. It's not whiskey.
It's not whiskey.
Cognac? Am I right?
What do you mean by cognac?
I don't fucking know.
Fucking ignoramus.
But it's not whiskey.
It's not whiskey.
So I'm going with cognac.
What's that face?
It's the rough as fuck face, but it's not quite. But it is a bit rough. That's a bit rough.
Rough?
Yeah.
I would have said rough.
Yeah, $13.99 from Aldi.
No,
I'm going
it's
to
not.
say
It's
rough.
not. No, it's not. Honestly, it's really not.
Is it a really expensive bottle? Because it's not.
I'm
It's
waiting.
rough as
you
shit.
need to tell me whether that's.
Yeah,
it's
all right, I'm going rough as shit. What could it be? If it's, is it cognac? Just yes or no?
What do you mean by cognac?
I don't know. French cognac. If it's not called cognac, just say no.
Okay, what's another
I
name
don't
for
know.
cognac?
Shit whiskey. No, I don't know.
Brandy.
Oh, so it's a brandy.
Yeah,
Okay,
cognac is a brandy.
What's the difference?
Nothing. There's no difference in cognac and brandy.
Yeah, there is. One's called cognac. One's called brandy. What's
other
the difference?
than the name.
Yes, but is it different regions?
It's a French name for it.
Oh, right. So it's literally right.
Yeah.
So it's brandy.
It's distilled wine. Brandy is distilled wine.
Okay.
But in a pot still. And then aged.
That's what I want. So it's a brandy. I know nothing about brandies.
Okay, well, it's a brandy. And
French?
does it make you a randy?
By the way,
It's
anyone
not, no, because we've had
wait. Anyone watching on YouTube is going to see a far more interesting show than it's been
Don't
so far.
shake this very shaky table.
No, I'm listening. The audio people think we're...
no, God.
That's what I was on about. Yeah, totally.
I'm far too discerning to fancy you, even if I was gay.
Go to the YouTube.
Right,
and watch
so
it.
we had. Remember, you probably don't remember.
Absolutely not.
When I had I could just get the same one
Yeah,
again.
of course you
the
could.
Greek brandy.
Was there?
Do you remember when I brought the Metaxa?
Was there?
You fucking moron. Sorry,
Was
I'm
there?
not allowed to say that. You're a neurodiv. No.
Yeah, just fucking moron.
You're just a
Eurodite.
You're a
No, fucking
twit.
moron. Right.
So this is Spanish brandy.
Okay.
Okay. This
Okay.
is
Let me have a look.
brandy that I actually had in Spain at an all-inclusive place. It tasted much better.
How many euros?
How many euros?
Yeah.
Oh, thousands.
How many euros, Mark?
20.
20. Really? That many?
But I like
That's 17
I like
pounds.
industrial quality.
Oh, that's 17 pounds.
I like industrial quality.
So when I
brandy.
go rough as fuck, and you go 17
Listen, Osborne,
pounds.
Osborne Veterano, which you don't seem to be able to buy over here, is actually really nice, and that's just an ordinary brandy.
Is it possible you can't buy it over here because it's poisonous?
It's not poisonous.
Anyway, there you go.
Fundador.
Yeah, I'm going back to the wine.
There we go.
Was this what you're drinking at the side of the pool and it was lovely?
No,
or was it rough there?
I have had this in Spain.
Would
That's
you
an
consider
all-inclusive.
this a bit rough, or would you consider this all right?
this is
No, I don't mind, but let's have honesty. Yes or no, a bit rough.
It's not this, but then again, I don't buy. If I'm buying Metaxa, I buy Metaxa 5-star. I don't get the really sort of because it just doesn't. It's diminishing returns.
When you're buying, knowing it's going to be at a podcast, do you buy the really expensive stuff, or do you go fucking hell?
I go for
17 euros.
interesting stuff.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Right, I get that.
Interesting.
No, listen, it's fine, but I wouldn't give that to a teenage
Subject
kid who
of
wants to get drunk
conversation.
and get laid.
Whatever.
Anyway, no. By the way, it's perfectly drinkable because we have a very, very wide concept of what's drinkable.
Low threshold.
Right. By the way, I think what we should do now, if it's all right,
Yes.
we've had this. We should definitely do the Boys' Own Dangerous Book of Boys.
Yes.
It's time.
The manual of manhood.
Which we haven't done for a while.
We haven't done it for a while. Those
But it's-
who've listened before may remember that
We're
we
actually
have
showing
deal
it.
with
This is our
extracts
YouTube set.
from the Dangerous Book for Boys.
Can I see it? Can I see it?
I
I'm
like
going to
to
read
think
it.
of it as
No,
a-
I'm going to read it.
as
So
an
this is
essential
the
manual for manly men.
Logulden.
You can't read, can you?
No, I can't. Con
Iggulden.
The Dangerous Book for Boys. Why does it say Hal Iggle? Oh, because it's both of them. Hal Iggulden. Anyway,
you can barely speak.
I know, I can't. Right, so we're going to do this, and
we-
I think it's very important everyone listens and understands this is the wisdom we are imparting to the next generation.
I think we could all do it. And just a few things from the contents. Just simple, simple arguments for simple.
I thought we were doing Latin.
Yes, we are. We're going to. There's all sorts of things like the great battles, naval flag codes, patron saints of Britain, stuff about the moon, how to skim stones, make a pinhole projector, how to teach dogs tricks, and all that sort of stuff. And the one I particularly
By the
liked.
way, is that by an inner city thing?
A what?
An inner city thing.
Inner city thing.
How to teach dogs new tricks. No, moving on.
I don't understand what you mean.
I know. Good.
Because if you explain it to me, will you be in great trouble?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I think we did do some of these before, and this is and having been criticised.
He can't remember.
Having been criticised by you for using Latin axioms at various stages.
I understand your swans only ever understood Latin.
Yes,
Right,
so this
here we
is
go.
Latin phrases every boy should know. Let's see if you know any of these.
Q est deratum. Proven by demonstration.
Quod erat
QED.
demonstratum.
That's what I said.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
It's
exactly what I said.
It's recorded. You'll
It's
be able
exactly
to
what I
hear
said.
exactly.
Anyone can listen to this
Quod
and
erat
agree.
demonstratum.
Yeah.
Okay.
QED.
Deus ex machina.
Deus Day.
Deus
X. Oh, Dream of the Machine. Ghost in the Machine. Last one. Questa est what? Do it.
Deus ex machina.
Machina. Ghost of the Machine.
No,
which is, by the way, Police's greatest album.
Yes, it is. It is.
Go on.
But it's literally the god of the machine. As when Greek.
But hold
playwrights would
on
have-
a minute. Fucking close. That was
No,
really good.
Quite,
Are you
quite.
impressed?
No.
Are you impressed?
No,
Why not?
because it's you. Okay.
Issues.
Cogito ergo sum.
Cogito, I understand. Ergo,
Ergo sum.
I understand myself. I understand others. I understand something. Cognito. Right, go on.
Cogito ergo sum.
I think therefore I am.
Yes.
No!
Yes.
Whoa!
Well done.
Back of the net.
Well done.
Obviously, my enthusiasm indicates I haven't got the point. But go on. That was pretty fucking cool.
Cave canem.
I eat chicken. What? That was a good guess.
No, it wasn't.
It was a fucking
Okay, so
great
how
guess.
do you get that from
Carve.
Carving.
Carving. And the next word?
Canem.
Carnem. Carnem as in Latin for chicken.
No.
Yeah. Go on.
Beware of the dog.
Oh, I'm slaughtered intellectually by that one. Go on.
Slaughtered.
So hang on. So carve carnem.
Yes.
Beware. Carve. Beware. Carving.
Carnem. Canem.
Carnem. The
Beware
dog.
of the dog, yeah.
Carnem. Okay.
Okay. Get it?
By the way, I've watched Gladiator. It was so much deeper than this. Right, go on.
Yes. Dulce et decorum est pro patria more.
Say it again slowly.
Dulce et decorum est pro patria more. More.
Oh, God. One more time.
Dulce et decorum est pro patria more.
When I hear Dolce, I'm thinking of ice cream, but I'm thinking of dessert. No, I am. Wait, no, I am. Hang on. Seriously, this is the logic. I'm kind of going Dolce.
Is that Joe?
Wait, no,
Joe
honestly,
Dolce?
because I'm holding on by the fucking threads here. So just give me a bit of space. So I'm
It's
thinking
quite a
Dolce. I'm
famous
thinking
quote, that.
No, I haven't got. It's
From
phony.
Horace.
It's for fuck's sake. Who the fuck is Horace? You middle class
Greek-
swan fucking
I'm not
swanning
going
around.
to apologise one moment for
No.
my education.
No, of course
you
not.
should be ashamed of the lack of.
All I would
yours,
do-
having had ample opportunity to fill in
All
the gaps.
I would do is
since you left
I would
school.
insert the word privilege.
Such a
Right.
I
So-
never got taught this at school.
Of course you fucking did.
fuck off.
You didn't spend your time with the
Fuck
SAS going
off.
Dolce. Right, Dolce.
I
Ice cream.
read.
You did not.
did.
Fuck off. I've
Yeah,
seen
ice
you.
cream. Ice cream.
Right, ice cream. But I'm prepared to go dessert, and I'm prepared to go. So give me the phrase again, because I'm honestly trying to unpick
Dolce.
this. Do it slowly.
Dolce. Et decorum
Right,
est.
wait. Dolce.
Decorate
wait, no,
your
dessert-
house with ice cream colours.
No. I'm trying to go. I'm trying to think. It's
Decorum.
decorum. Yeah, it's no, but decorum can also be how you should behave. Is it closer? Behave.
Do you want to know the answer?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a sweet and fitting...
Sweet! Dessert!
It is sweet
Sweet.
and fitting to die for your country. A line from Horace, later used ironically by Wilfred Owen in a World War I poem.
Hang on, Wilfred Owen, presumably the...
The World War I poet.
Yeah, what was the most famous poems he did?
I don't know.
How is it not that fucking cultured then?
No, come on. Well,
so if you weren't drinking, you'd have known exactly. Anyway, give me the phrase and give me the meaning. So dolce
et decorum.
Dolce et decorum.
Sweet and...
No, that wasn't the end of the phrase. There was more, wasn't there?
Est pro patria mori is
more,
for
we know, is
your
death.
Country to die.
Right. The other bit, est.
Est pro patria mori
So
is
patrium
for
is your
country to die. Literally.
Yes.
The sentence construction.
It's not true, though, is it? It's better to live. Fuck your country. Live.
I'm not going to debate the rectitude or otherwise of the quote from Horace at this moment.
By the way, is Horace a dog?
No, come on, stop. You being
No,
stupid
no, I've never heard of Horace until this moment.
So yes, Horace.
I assume Horace is a book that
Horace,
we with our swan
Horace
education should
dog,
all know.
The Horace the dog wrote Dolce et decorum.
But I'm assuming you and your swans were sitting there reading Horace. Who's Horace?
Horace is a Greek philosopher.
Is he?
Was a Greek philosopher.
I know Aristotle. I've never heard of Horace. Horace is shit name.
You are an ignoramus.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't get a classical education, Mark.
Quite.
I was too busy growing up in tower blocks.
Fiat.
Oh, no, Fiats. They're great. Great cars.
Fiat
My wife
Lux.
had one. A Fiat 5.
Fiat Lux.
All right. Fiat Lux. Does Lux mean what I think
Is that
it means?
Fiat's front headlights.
That's where I am. My wife had a Fiat 5.
And Fiat Lux.
It looked good.
Fiat looks good.
I don't know. Yes.
Let there be light.
No.
Yes.
Fiat Lux.
Fiat Lux. Lux is light.
Lux as in...
Fiat's like let it be.
Why would I know that?
Well, because it's obvious.
If you're not an Italian car driver owner...
It's like a fiat is the word can mean an agreement. It's because we let it.
No, I agree a fiat can be an agreement. I got that bit. Fiat Lux, and I agree Lux is light.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. Fiat Lux is let there be light. Why don't you just say let there be light?
Because it's much more elitist to say Fiat Lux.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Right, last one, because I believe there are people shooting themselves at this point.
Okay.
Last one. Pick it.
No.
No, it's not funny enough.
Requiescat in pace. Parquet.
Blowjob by a priest.
Yes.
Rescue, request, blowjob by a priest.
Requiescat in parquet.
Gas in parquet. Can you park it? No. All right, gone. I want a parking space.
Yes.
Thank you. Yay!
No.
I am so...
May he or she rest in peace.
Oh, hang on. No, stop. Say that one more time.
Requiescat in pace.
In pace, R.I.P. It's R.I.P.
Yeah.
No, you don't understand. Everyone knows R.I.P.
No, I know, yeah.
We're just hearing what it is.
But it's
I've never
also
known
rest
this.
in peace.
No, but R.I.P.
Which happens to be R.I.P. as well.
No, but I want to hear it in Latin because that's good. Go on.
Requiescat in pace.
Requiescat in pace. So basically, in Rome and earlier, but Rome, they would have said that every time they're asking someone to rest in peace. And we still do it now.
Okay.
So no one knows what R.I.P. means. Resquiate in partem.
In pace.
In parque. Resquiate in parque. We all do it.
Requiescat.
And no one knows what it is. So that was a good one.
Yep.
I like that.
Okay, one more. This has kind of got military connotations. Semper fidelis.
Strength and honor.
Nope.
Right. That was from the movie. Go on, say it one more time.
Semper Fidelis.
Semper Fidelis. Fidelity, honesty, integrity.
Not quite.
Fidelis. Fidelis.
Fido the dog.
Truth.
Fido.
Oh, as in Greek mythology.
No.
Oh.
Fido as in the name. Fido, what it implies.
I tried to go.
Faithfulness.
And the first word?
Semper.
No.
Always faithful.
Always faithful.
What
was your motto? What was your
motto of the United States Marine Corps? Semper
always
Fidelis.
faithful.
Semper Fi.
Always
Semper
faithful.
Fi, abbreviated to Semper Fi.
Right. Come on,
Twat.
wind it up, mate.
Right, good. Well, we've still done a respectable
new place.
Still done a respectable 2 hours.
Yeah.
So,
and it was 9 o'clock. And it was bedtime.
It was bedtime.
I hope you really enjoyed it.
Yes, and I hope. Let me just hit this button. There we go.
We need new buttons.
They're
They're really great, but we need new ones.
New button. What?
For our new studio, we do.
No.
Yes.
People like continuity.
No, they're going.
I'm sure I could generate some new AI.
Yes.
Outro
Let's have some
music.
new ones.
Good. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we are with our Brumcrack flipping.
Always on.
Always on.
symbol.
Semper Fidelis.
And we are looking at changing things. And quite genuinely, if you've got through to this bit and you kind of go, it would be nice if you did that, particularly environment, because we're literally tell us.
Well, just so you know, the things we were talking about, I mean, the desk needs to be moved further out. We've got various tweaks. The problem is going to be the screens, so we're looking at potentially having a single big screen there, which I think would work best.
Whereas Mark is going to help finance.
No, absolutely. And I think these arms aren't necessarily working because there's low-profile ones. We can have it come down, but we'll have to order them from Amazon and decide whether they work, and then send them back if they don't.
Oh, by the way, there was an article on that. The people who send everything back.
Yep.
I'm on the right side of the line because I buy enough that they're all right.
Yeah, but anyway, I hope you like the new setup. As I say, all very
genuinely,
much
your
work in
comments on it. It's a big step to do this because if this works, this is what we're going to do, and we know it's a big shift. Tell us how to make it better.
We ain't stopping soon, so we don't
care what you say.
Better. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much again. If you've listened and watched us to the end, it's always a pleasure.
And don't tell our wives about the difficult bit in the middle, please.
It's always a pleasure to do this. It's even more of a pleasure to know that there's someone out there listening to us as well.
I love you, Mark.
Yeah.
I love you.
Fuck off. Anyway, thank you again. And now we've come of age. We look forward to a greater level of maturity.
Decline into middle age.
Moving forward towards the eventual decline and death. So thank you again, and good night.
Good night.